So in this high-stakes race for artificial intelligence, it feels like every single week we're hearing about some new, bigger, more powerful model, right? Well, today we're going to look at a different player, one with a fundamentally different idea. And it's an idea that really challenges what we even think of as progress in AI. So let's get into it.
And really, this is the central question, isn't it? For years, the dominant thinking has been a huge yes. You know the drill. More data, more parameters, more and more computing power. But what if the key to a truly human-like intelligence isn't about size at all?
Okay, so to really get why this is such a radical idea, we've got to look at what's happening right now. The whole industry has been, well, locked in this race, basically, a sprint towards just getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, for a long time, the path seemed pretty clear. You've got the big players like OpenAI and Google, and their whole strategy has been to build these absolutely massive, monolithic neural networks. But here's the problem. They often work like black boxes. We get an answer, sure, but we don't really know how the AI got there. The main goal is just raw predictive power, but that comes at a huge cost, not just in transparency, but also in just massive, massive compute power.
And this is where a company called Grezorea Pvt Ltd steps onto the scene. They are taking a totally different path with their O-series models. It's built on a philosophy that just completely flips that bigger is better idea on its head.
So what's their secret sauce? Well, it's something called modular AI. Now, instead of one giant, all-knowing brain, I want you to think of it kind of like our brains, right? We don't have one single part that does everything. We've got specialized areas for language, for vision, for logic, and they all have to work together. That's exactly what Grezorea is trying to copy, that distributed, collaborative design.
And the scale of this, honestly, it's just staggering. The O-series models are made up of 1,720 billion specialized micromodules. You can think of them as tiny algorithms. Every single one is a little expert, a tiny piece of a massive puzzle. So yeah, it's like an army of specialists, not just one single generalist trying to do it all.
Now, the real magic happens when these billions of tiny modules start linking up. To solve a problem, they form what are called reasoning chains. This is what allows the AI to be so incredibly nuanced and adaptable. It's literally piecing together a solution, step by step, in a way that's, well, a lot closer to how we think through a really complex problem.
So you can see this isn't just a technical choice they're making. It's really a philosophical one, and it all builds towards their big goal, creating what they call a humanized AI.
This whole human-centered design really rests on three core pillars. First up, transparency. Because it's made of all these little parts, each module can tell you exactly what it did. It basically cracks open that black box. Second, you've got adaptability. Just like a person, it can change its whole approach depending on the context. And third, and this is a big one, safety. There are these internal checks and balances that act almost like an internal conscience, you know? It keeps the outputs grounded and hopefully unbiased.
And all of this leads to their ultimate vision. They actually said they want to create an AI that feels more like working with a trusted colleague than interacting with a machine. Think about that. The goal here isn't just to build a better tool, it's to build a partner, an AI you can actually collaborate with, that you can understand, and, this is the key, that you can trust.
Okay, so the theory sounds fantastic, right? But what does this actually look like in the real world? I mean, how does a modular, humanized AI actually change things on the ground?
Well, take healthcare, for example. An O-series model could suggest a diagnosis, but here's the crucial part. It can show the doctor the exact reasoning chain it used to get there. It'll highlight the specific data points it looked at, the logical steps it took, everything. So this isn't about replacing a doctor, not at all. It's about giving them a super powerful, completely transparent assistant.
Or, hey, think about finance. When a transaction gets flagged for fraud, regulators need to know why. A typical black box AI might just say, it's 98% likely fraudulent, and that's it. But the O-series can give them a full auditable trail. It shows exactly which modules fired up and what specific patterns they saw. For accountability, that is a total game changer.
And you see the same principle in industry. I mean, predicting a machine is about to break down, that's one thing. But delivering a clear step-by-step analysis of why it's going to fail, pointing to specific sensor readings and performance dips, that lets engineers fix the actual root cause, not just patch up a symptom.
So, this brings us right back to that core question, doesn't it? We've got two very different philosophies for building the future of AI. One is this all-out race for bigger and bigger models. The other is a pursuit of smarter structure and real clarity. So it really boils down to this. On one side, you've got these massive models, incredibly powerful, yeah, but also opaque and super expensive. And on the other side, you have Grezorea's O series, which is designed from the ground up for clarity. It has human-readable logic, and it's efficient and scalable. It's really a choice between raw, mysterious power and an understandable, collaborative kind of intelligence.
So here's the bottom line, the most crucial point. Grezorea is not trying to win this AI race by building a bigger engine. They're trying to win by designing a smarter, more transparent one that works with us, not just for us. Their competitive edge isn't raw size, it's a design that's actually closer to our own way of thinking.
And that leaves us with a really fascinating question to chew on. As these technologies get woven deeper and deeper into our lives, what are we going to value more? Just sheer brute force computational power, or an intelligence that we can actually understand and work with? Is that trusted colleague really the future of our partnership with AI?